So today we'll be discussing the role of self-love in bhakti. So many of you, or many of you may not be, would have wondered how come this self-love becomes a part of bhakti. It looks like they both are two different aspects of a development. Bhakti is more at a soul's level, and self-love is for the body. Is more of a material concept. Is more of a material thing. So do we need to love ourselves or do we need to love Krishna? Looks like two different directions. Look like they're counter, they're not really aligning with each other in that sense. So let us discover today that what is the interlink between the self-love and the love of Krishna, which is we experience through our bhakti, we experience in our spiritual life. So many a times we come across many situations in our life wherein we don't feel very encouraged in our bhakti. We lose
Anand ji,
enthusiasm, we lose courage,
ठीक.
we lose the determination, and we see it's a very, very big path for me to follow. It's I cannot really make this path of bhakti. This is not for me. And we think that bhakti is very tough. I'm not experiencing any taste. This path seems so long, and I've just not even started in my own bhakti life. So sometimes, many a times, that we get discouraged, we get demotivated, we become depressed. We're not able to move through enthusiastically in our devotional services. And utsaha, nischay, dhairyat, enthusiasm, determination, and patience, they both are the most important ingredient of development of bhakti. And we lose on all these three qualities at different times. And we are not able to regain them and able to bring that out in our own personal life, in our personal spiritual practices. So why does this happen? First of all, does this happen to you that at different times you feel discouraged, at different times you feel demotivated, at different times you feel this is not for me, at different times you feel it's too much for me, or it's too tough, I'm not qualified for it, it's not for me. So how many times and for how many of you come across this kind of thought processes? If anybody would like to share, if other angles, other kind of discouragement what I'm missing, you may share with me that
So
what are your
Prabhuji, in the beginning, yeah, in the beginning, when my parents used to say, you need to pray to God every day.
yes.
I didn't understand why I need to pray because I've given everything in my life. I
Yes.
mean, I didn't. But then, as Kunti Mata asked Krishna, like, give me troubles in my life. We all are human beings, so we have difficulties in our life.
Yes.
So the only way to get strength is by praying to God. Uh, by going through so many difficulties in the life, my parents used to say, you need to pray to God. That's the only way to come out of your difficult situation. So now it becomes automatic to me. Even if I don't go to Puja Mandir, wherever I am, my manas always chants God's name.
Very
Uh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, great. I mean, sometimes those discouragement, this demotivation can really help us uplifting ourselves in bhakti. At the same time, I'm sorry, there was a disconnect. So, what I meant to say was in the bhakti path itself, when we are coming toward bhakti, in due course of our practices, we feel so much of discouragement. We feel chanting 16 rounds, following four regulatory principles, or reading Prabhupada books, or let's say coming for Gita classes. It's not for me. because I'm not made for it. And bhakti life is very dry, or I feel a sense of insufficiency in myself. I feel there is no encouragement for me to practice bhakti. Many times we at different junction come across these self doubts, come across these self judgments towards us. So now the real problem what happens is that we are not able to understand the real meaning of Krishna's presence in our life, real meaning of bhakti. So whenever we think ourselves to not be sufficient, we think that there is no encouragement for me, I am not able to advance at all, or I am too less, or I don't have any sufficient qualification, or I have so much of negativity, inferiority complex, not being able to practice bhakti. So what happens is we try to reflect people's opinion on Krishna's mind, on Krishna's personality. So as we know that when we grow up, we hear different people's opinion. We hear people's opinion, okay, unless you get first rank in your school, we will not love you. The parents would say to child, unless you do this, you will not get that. You're a bad person, you're a bad child because you are crying so much. You are not worth enough unless you prove yourself beyond a certain in my expectations. So when as a child we hear all these talks from our parents, from our relatives, from our people around us, we think that the love, the acceptance, the care, the respect is all dependent on something or somebody. If unless there's a conditions, unless I fulfill these conditions, I will not be able to I will not be able to receive love. Unless I meet certain conditions, I will not be accepted by my parents. Unless I create some great results, I will not be of worth in my own self. So that is what we keep hearing, and that's how the material life keeps running. You have to keep proving yourself. You have to keep proving for finding love. You have to keep proving for finding your worth. You have to keep proving to find the acceptance in anybody's life. Isn't it? It all happens with all of us in our material life. And because this happens with all of us at different times in our material life, so we start thinking that even Krishna's is love, Krishna's acceptance, Krishna's mercy, Krishna's compassion, Krishna's care is also like that. So unless I do this, till that point of time, Krishna will not love me. And I'm not doing all of that. So Krishna is not loving me. Unless I am able to meet certain standards, Krishna will not accept me as his own. Unless I do this, this, and that, till that point of time, there is no way I can receive Krishna's love. Or I can receive Krishna's acceptance. I can receive Krishna's care. I can receive Krishna's accept and all these kind of a things. Isn't it? We have this kind of an understanding. So that's why we always try to have a very high standard for us. Sometimes. So high standard means we always think, oh, I need to become that, my ideal avatar, what ideal personality is, but we forget what is my current situation is. And because we have certain ideals in my mind, certain ideal state in my mind, and my current reality is completely different right now, and the gap seems to be too huge, because of that we feel discouraged. Will I ever be able to make in this lifetime? Or what if I fail? What if this happens? What if I am not able to come up to the expectation of Krishna? I'm so weak for that. So when we have all these different type of ideas, then we feel let me just try to push myself even though I'm not feeling like. Let me just go through it and keep beating on myself. Like sometimes we hear very high philosophy. We sometimes try to weaponize shastras, oh, you're a Muda, you're this, you're that, unless you are fulfilling the highest standard in your bhakti. So, is that true? Unless I am able to come to the highest standard of bhakti, till that point of time, I will not be able to receive Krishna's love, Krishna's care, Krishna's compassion, Krishna's acceptance. What do you all think? Unless I am able to meet the highest standard set up by the Shastras and by Krishna himself, will I not be lovable? Will I not be worth enough? Will I not be accepted by the Lord? No. Because the way we think about life, the way we think about ourselves, the way we think about our relationship with Krishna, it is completely different how Krishna thinks about us. So, unless we are able to see through Krishna's eyes and stop seeing ourselves from people's eyes, till that point of time, we will not be able to really open up our heart, and we really not be able to receive Krishna's guidance, Krishna's mercy, Krishna's love, Krishna's compassion, even in our conditional state. A beautiful quote by Srila Prabhupada. I will like to read that quote to all of you from 8th canto of Bhagavatam. So let me just read that quote I sent to some of you. It says, Lord Krishna is very much pleased with his devotees even if they are not on the topmost stage of devotional service. Even on the lower stages of devotional service, one is transcendental. And if one continues with devotional life, he continues to be a Deva or Sura. If one continues in this way, Krishna will always be pleased with him and will give him all instructions so that he may very easily return home back to Godhead. In terms of how many people would be using and what, based on that, we'll understand the sewage output. So, what is Krishna saying here? Prabhupada is saying, Krishna is very much pleased with his devotees, even though we are not at the highest state of devotional service. What we think, unless I am able to meet highest standards, I will not be lovable by Krishna. I am not able to please Krishna. But what Prabhupada says, even though we are at a lower stage of devotional service, just by our effort to go to the next level, Krishna is pleased. Krishna is happy with us. So, what it means is that unless we start seeing ourselves, our situations, our life from Krishna's perspective, from Krishna's understanding, from Krishna's eyes, till that point of time, we will always feel that kind of a discouragement in our bhakti. We will always feel that. So the reason, so let us break down this self-love concept into 4 different categories. Self-love in role of bhakti has 4 different components to it. The self-love means self-acceptance. Self-love means self-forgiveness. Self-love means self-care. Self-love means self-respect and giving ourselves the same love as Krishna is giving to us. So, what I mean is self love. Let us define who is that self here. The self I'm talking about is not the body. The self I'm talking about is not the mind. The self I'm talking about is the self me as a spiritual being. And me as a spiritual being is trapped into the different type of body and minds and different types of situations. And in different types of bodies, different type of mind, different type of situations, we as a spiritual being is always unconditionally accepted by the Lord, and he is accepting us with our present situations. For example, the self acceptance, the acceptance of the Lord which the Lord has towards us as a spiritual being becomes the fountainhead for me to start accepting myself. Because if Krishna is accepting me, how can I reject myself? And when I say Krishna is accepting you the way you are, and Krishna is from that point is uplifting you the way you should be. So Krishna is, for example, in the Bhagavatam, there's a beautiful story comes. The story of Kubja. You might have heard about Kubja's story. So Kubja was a hunched back woman. So Kubja was a very old looking. Three places she was hunched back. She was bent at three places. And she used to deliver sandalwood paste to Kamsa's palace. So when Krishna and Balram was coming towards, and she happened to see Krishna and Balram, so Krishna Balram comes, and then she offers the sandalwood to Krishna. Krishna comes, okay, give me the sandalwood, whatever sandalwood paste you have. So Kubja becomes very happy, and Kubja gives the best of sandalwood paste what she had to Krishna and Balram. And when Krishna accepted that sandalwood paste from Kubja, then Krishna touched Kubja, and by the touch of Krishna, she became a very beautiful, good looking, gorgeous young woman. So, this hunched back old woman, because she offered some service to Krishna from the place she was at, and Krishna accepted her service, and by the touch of Krishna, she became the most gorgeous, beautiful, and young woman. So, what does this mean? If Kubja were to think, oh, I'm an old woman and I'm a hunched back, why would Krishna accept my service? And Krishna also did not think, oh, she's a hunched back woman. Why should I accept her service? So Krishna accepted service of Kubja without any condition. It was like unconditional acceptance of Kubja. And Kubja also did not think in her mind, oh, I have some deficiency, I will not be able to serve Krishna. So she served Krishna with whatever she had. With whatever she had, she gave it to Krishna. And by Krishna's touch, because of Krishna's acceptance of his service, of her service, she received whatever she desired in her mind. And what was perfect for Krishna's association in that sense. Similarly, the very fact Krishna accept all of our service, very small service or big service, chanting one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra or not chanting at all, or chanting one times. So Krishna accept any service what you are ready to give to him. The very fact Krishna is accepting a service in any way you can give means Krishna is accepting you also. And when Krishna is accepting me, so I receive Krishna's touch and I gain my ideal life, whatever I should be having. And after that, what happens? She becomes a young, beautiful woman, and now she wanted to spend some one on one time with Krishna. Now, Krishna would have said, no, I will not come and meet you. But Krishna not only transformed her body, but Krishna also had gone to meet one on one with Kubja. And she could feel very exclusive presence of Krishna in her life. So, similarly, we also may be in the different situations, but Krishna's kindness is so much, Krishna's mercy is so much, Krishna's love is so much for us that he accept regardless of whatever we can give or not give. The only thing what he needs is, or whatever he wants is, your sincere desire to serve him and to give whatever you have. And because he's accepting your service, it means he's also accepting you. And if Krishna is accepting me the way I am, and then is uplifting me to what I should be, then why should I keep decline myself? Then why should I keep kind of beating on myself? Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. Krishna will not accept me. So, unless we have this deep rejection of ourselves, means we are rejecting Krishna's love. The moment we accept ourselves as we are and ready to give service, whatever we can give at our point of time, in our situation, then Krishna will be able to deliver us the highest love, and eventually will come to the ideal state. So from our current state to the ideal state, the way to move forward is to accept your current state and to give whatever you can give at this point of time, and then slowly Krishna will start uplifting you. So that is the first component. The first component is Krishna is accepting my service, even for that matter, Gajendra. All of you might have heard about Gajendra's pastimes. That Gajendra was a, we heard last time, right? We had the discussion. Gajendra was an animal. If Gajendra was an animal, he was degraded. If Krishna could accept Gajendra's prayers and he could respond to Gajendra's prayers by coming personally to uplift and to save Gajendra, so it means Krishna did not even care whether he was in an animal body, whether he was in a whatever kind of body. Because Krishna has already given these principles in the Bhagavad Gita. Istriya Vaishya Tata Shudra Tepi Jantu Param Gatim. Whoever is rejected by other class, by other people, other part of the Vedic literatures, for other type of services, Istriya Vaishya Tata Shudra, even those people are accepted by Krishna without any reservation. Krishna has declared it. I will accept anybody who comes with sincere feelings, who comes with the genuine desire to serve me. So, in that sense, if Krishna is accepting me and my services, how much ever impure it is, wouldn't be a kind of source of encouragement for me that whatever I'm giving to Krishna, Krishna is accepting it, and Krishna is accepting me also. So, if Krishna is accepting me, then I should also not reject myself. So the first principle of self-love is self-acceptance. Acceptance of your situations, acceptance of your incapabilities, acceptance of your whatever difficulties or challenges you may have. And give to Krishna whatever you can give at that point of time. And Krishna is accepting it. The second aspect of self-love is self-forgiveness. Sometimes we think, oh, I will never be able to forgive myself because I am not a good devotee. Because I broke the principles, I broke my commitment, I broke this, I broke that. We keep holding on to this resentment toward ourselves. I will not be able to forgive myself. So, yes, sometimes we may think I am unforgivable and I am unrepairable. I cannot do this or that. But how does Krishna looks at me? How does Krishna thinks of me? For example, Putana. Putana came in a witch form. She was a witch mother. Putana was a witch, and she disguised herself as a loving mother. And she came spreading poison on her breast, and she wanted to feed Krishna, baby Krishna, and wanted to kill Krishna. Just imagine, a witch is coming towards Krishna, small baby Krishna, pretending her to be the greatest of mother. What did Krishna do? Did Krishna punish her? Yes, Krishna did punish her. Krishna sucked out the life force from her body by sucking her breast milk. At the same time, Krishna also gave her the position of his own mother in the spiritual world. Krishna gave Putana, a witch who came to poison Krishna, as her own mother in the spiritual world. So, what could be the level of forgiveness more Krishna could show from this incidents? So, Krishna forgave Putana for her act, and Krishna awarded the greatest of position to her. Similarly, even Kalia, Kalia came to poison Yamuna, and when Kalia came to poison Yamuna, that point of time, Krishna start fighting with Kalia. And when Krishna start fighting with Kalia, then Kalia's all the wife comes and they start praying to Krishna to ask for forgiveness and to leave Kalia. What did Krishna do? Did Krishna kill Kalia and not forgive Kalia? No. Krishna did forgive Kalia and Krishna let Kalia go after removing his poison. And Krishna let him go have a safe passage to his own back to his own home. In both the cases, Putana and Kalia, Krishna removed both of their poison. And actually after Krishna forgave them. So Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, Api chet sudaracharo bhajete ma mananne bhak. Sadhur eva samantavya. So Krishna is saying that even a person seems to be fallen, seems to be engaged in certain abominable activities, but if his heart he's constantly touching me, then he is to be considered as saintly person. Even a person by mistake or force, not willingly but out of some force, is engaged into some abominable activity, but is constantly maintaining touch of Krishna, he is to be considered saintly person because very soon he will regain his position and he will be reestablished in his own self. Same thing happened with Putana and Kalia. They were constantly in touch with Krishna, and Krishna sucked out their poison, and then Krishna actually liberated them in a sense. So, if Krishna could forgive the people who came to kill him, what about us? Would he not forgive for any mistake we might have done or we may do in our personal lives? Krishna has unconditional forgiveness towards us, provided we are ready to let go of that poison what made us that mistake, or at least we are able to recognize and able to rectify and slowly work on that progressively on that path. So if Krishna is forgiving me unconditionally, and when we do some mistake we say, right, I will never be able to forgive myself, or I will never forgive that person in my life. So, are we reflecting Krishna's unconditional forgiveness, or are we stuck to our own mind and our own mental speculation, our own people's opinion, people's judgment, people reflection about us in our life? A way to actually experience Krishna's love is to start seeing your life from Krishna's perspective. Krishna's unconditional acceptance, it is spread all across Srimad Bhagavatam, all across Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna's unconditional forgiveness. Again, Krishna is very forgiving in nature. So, self forgiving, self accepting, and self care. We may think, why I have to care of my body and about my mind? I should be caring for Krishna. Why should I be caring about my body? Why should I be caring about my emotions? Why should I be caring about any other things? If you see, this body actually is a gift of Krishna. This body, especially this body which is helping us going toward Krishna in this particular lifetime, is actually a very important vehicle, is a very important gift given to me by Krishna. If this is a very, very special gift given to me by Krishna, how can I abuse this gift? How can I misuse this gift? How can I not care for this gift? If we are not caring for this gift, this body, which has been used as an important vehicle to move towards Krishna, are we not actually abusing Krishna's mercy? Are we not actually abusing Krishna's kindness towards us? We actually sometimes stretch our limits beyond a certain point. Yes, taking tapasya, taking austerity is good for progress in bhakti, and we all must should do that, but not beyond our certain limits. We all have a breaking limit, right? So when we are not stretching ourselves beyond a certain limit, and on a regular basis we are rejuvenating, recreating, and taking care of our body and mind, the quintessential verse what comes in Bhagavad Gita about self-care is which verse? The verse Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, that we should be regulated in our eating, sleeping, recreation, and activity and working. We should eat not too little and not too much. We should sleep not too little and not too much. So Krishna is saying you should sleep properly, you should eat properly, you should work properly, and you should recreate properly. So if Krishna is himself is permitting us, is allowing us to kind of not misuse this body and mind, what Krishna has given as a gift, then we don't have any right to not take care of this gift. Sometimes we think, oh, I need to punish. Sometimes we punish our body, punish our mind, so that we are able to prove to Krishna, Krishna, see how much I love you. But that is not called as pure bhakti. That is become tamasic bhakti. Hurting your body, hurting your mind at the name of devotional service, at the name of practicing something spiritual. Actually, you're trying to not please Krishna, but kind of prove yourself. You're still in a proving mentality. Like perfectionist comes. I must do it everything perfectly. I cannot fail at any point of time. I have a very high standard for myself. Yeah, if it is coming out naturally, great. But if it is something like a force or a repression or a suppression, or out of developing a whole lot of resentment inside of you, then it is not healthy. Same thing will backfire at one point of time in your bhakti, in your spiritual life, in your spiritual pursuit. So if Krishna is willing to care for me, care for my soul, so why should I not care for myself? So the whole idea is to receive all these self acceptance, receive the forgiveness, receive the care at a soul level from Krishna, and bring that in my practical day to day life, to my body, to my mind, and to my whole personality, and to my life situations. Because after all, I'm a spiritual being having this human experience. Anyways, if I don't receive that from Krishna, I would hanker it to get it from somebody else in a very shadowy way. There are different type of shadows. I think that could become the a different level of topic altogether. We'll not enter into that. But just to give you a glimpse that if we are not able to receive in a right way from Krishna all these different things, we would use our mind would use different tricks, different ways by receiving them in an unhealthy way, which is not good for our bhakti. So, and self love, after all, self love means receiving Krishna's love. Krishna unconditionally love my spiritual being, my spiritual self. He never rejects me. He never not stop loving me. And Srila Prabhupada says we all love our body. We all love our body because we as a spiritual being is in the body, and we love ourselves. And we love ourselves because Krishna loves us. At the deepest of the spiritual level, we know that Krishna loves us. And we are never ever disconnected from Krishna's love. And Krishna's love never stops flowing towards us. We just create a wall between us and Krishna. So it is not Krishna's love which is lacking. It is our incapability to receive Krishna's love which is lacking. It is our own incapabilities to not be able to receive Krishna's love. Krishna's love is always existing. He's always showing his merciful glances to all of us and always wants to be with him. And Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna loves us more than we love Krishna. And Krishna is more anxious to take us back to Krishna than we want to go back to Krishna. You see? So, if Krishna is loving my spiritual being and he is providing me all the facilities, then why should I hate myself? Why should I envy myself? Sometimes we do certain things because deep within ourselves we feel we are not lovable. We are not valuable. We are not worthy enough of Krishna's love. And because we feel we are not worthy of Krishna's love, we feel we are not worthy of Krishna's compassion, so we create a wall between us and Krishna. So when we start receiving Krishna's compassion, receiving Krishna's acceptance, receiving Krishna's care, receiving Krishna's love, we're preparing our heart to experience Krishna's love, Krishna's care, Krishna's compassion, which is ever existing, and even compassion. So Krishna comes to this world. Why does Krishna comes? Krishna comes to this world only for one reason: to reclaim we as a fallen conditioned soul and go take us back to Krishna, back to himself, his own spiritual abode. And Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, Tesham evanu kampartam aham agnanajam tamaha. That I am the one who dispel the darkness of the heart, remove the ignorance from the heart out of compassion for the living entity. So Krishna is very, very compassionate to all of us. And the very fact we are still existing is because of Krishna's compassion. So let us allow ourselves in all the situation to accept Krishna's compassion and give the same compassion to ourselves, to our own life, to our own situations. We have gone through our own stories, we have our own situations, our own difficulties, our own pain, our own challenges. Accept that, yes, we have our own difficult journey, and Krishna is recognizing each and every aspect of your journey, each and every struggle you're going for him, and he's very kind. He's reciprocating for each and every struggle we take for Krishna. So let us recognize how much struggle we have gone through in our own journey to be able to come to this point of being able to start chanting Krishna's name, able to go towards Krishna, and be little more compassionate to my own self. The idea is not to become egoistic. The idea is not to make myself great or grandiosity. The idea is to genuinely receive Krishna's acceptance, Krishna's love, Krishna's care, Krishna's compassion, and allow that to percolate in each and every aspect of my life, and receive it and give it to myself, because that is what Krishna wants, is giving to me. If Krishna is giving to me, why should I not give it to myself? The self love actually becomes the basis for you to become nourished, becoming more healed, becoming more whole, and integrating each and every aspect of yourself in bhakti and offering your complete self to Krishna. So it's more of an integrating process. The part of us who we don't like, the part of us whom we are very angry toward, the part of us whom we don't show any respect towards, the part of us whom we hate, let us start giving Krishna's love to all of them, integrate all of them, because all of them could be used in Krishna's service. They have some of the Atma's energy stuck to that part of my personality. Let us integrate them and bring that to in a wholesome personality and give everything to Krishna. So that is how we can understand. I would say that to be a part one, because there is much more to share on this topic, and just like a beginning of the discussion we are going through. Maybe we can take up some questions right now, and any doubts, any comments, anything anybody would like to share.
Prabhuji, I have few questions. So
Yeah.
one part is where you mentioned about, like radical acceptance of yourself, but also sincere efforts of trying to, overcome the bad or the evil that we have. What if somebody keeps trying and trying over a period of time, but somehow they're still kind of, give into senses? For example, like I should not have a cake. If, I'm just hypothetical example. And then I try, but once in a while I still have that cake. Or, like once in a while I'll have a temptation of having biryani. What do you do with that? So that's the first question. And I'll come up with the second question after you answer this one.
Yeah. So basically, then we need to integrate the aspect of self compassion in our life. Self acceptance. Yes, I'm accepting myself and ready to transform, but also I have my own struggles. And the problem I'm trying to fight may not be as easy as it looks like. I'm putting all my effort right now to give up this bad habit, but I'm failing. So, but Krishna is not seeing your failure as a failure. Krishna is seeing that as another opportunity to receive Krishna's compassion, more Krishna's compassion, and more grow, become more empowered because of Krishna's compassion, and give the same compassion to ourselves, and also celebrate. I mean, what we always forget to mention and to realize that how far I have come in this journey. The changing habit does not happen so easily. Like so many millions of lifetimes of samskaras are coming together in this particular habit. So breaking this habit, not only breaking this habit means breaking so many beliefs around it, breaking so many samskaras around it, right? So be a little more compassionate to yourself and see how far you have come versus how more far you have to go. We always have these perfectionist ideas. Oh, I'm not able to do that much. Let us celebrate and appreciate how far we have come because of Krishna's compassion, and give the same compassion to yourself, forgive yourself, and then move forward. Versus keep putting yourself down. See, you couldn't do it even this time. You're not worth putting the effort. You can never do this. Again, we'll be again in the negative spiral. Versus using the other supports of self forgiving and self compassion, then we can move forward more in this journey of change and transformation.
Thank you. So keep trying is the moral of the story. You're worth it. My second question, and we talk about like Krishna accepts everyone, right? Like Putana and everyone. It's the intention that you're coming with. So I always wonder, like, if God is so loving and accepting, why do when you go to a temple, why is there so much of differentiation? Like, you go to any temple, gurdwara, masjid, whatever, there are always rules and protocols, like, आप लेट के नमस्कार कीजिए या if you've adopted, let's say, if you've become part of the temple, you should shave your head, wear a dhoti, wear a mala. Like, why all these bells and whistles when all God wants is you to be good and to love Him? So, why do we make this pure love so complicated as opposed to just keeping it simple and making it complicated for others also?
Yeah. I mean, a beautiful question. If Krishna's the whole idea, the whole purpose of the whole scriptures, religion is to start experiencing Krishna's love, the God's love, what He has for us, and why these all the rules, regulations, systems, and discrimination based on different type of situations. How come these serve any purposes? Two angles to that. First angle is that yes, all of them are not required. Krishna says, I am very simple for the simple people, but I'm very complicated for the very complicated people. Because there's something which can support us in experiencing Krishna's love. Like, for example, it is a fact. If you put two hydrogen and one oxygen, you will get H2O. That is for sure. But for that to happen, you also need a certain arrangement, certain laboratory kind of a situations for you to experience it, for you to actually get it, right? Similarly, to be able to experience Krishna's love in our heart, there are some do's and some don'ts, so that we don't slip negatively in our own material situations. So actually, my battery is getting low, so let me first put in charge and then I'll start speaking. Otherwise, I'll lose everything. Just give me some time. Maybe I'll sit here and do it. Don't have a charger there. Are you able to see me and hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I was sharing is that certain conditions could be really helpful for us to experience Krishna's love. Like certain conditions could be really helpful for putting 2H and 1O to really bring it to the water, to really bring it to the reality. right? The same time, when these conditions becomes the way for your validation, becomes the way to prove yourself, become the way that whether you're a good devotee or bad devotee, then that is imposed by the human beings who handles all these principles sometimes. So what we do is, because we are receiving all these principles from people who have not properly understood the meaning of these principles, because of that, we as a neophyte also lose the faith in the principle itself. These principles are meant to keep our own welfare, and they should be practiced based upon how we are evolving, and not artificially trying to jump to the highest level, accept where we are, and digest as much as we can, and then move naturally when it comes out of our heart to follow them, versus when they become the benchmark for my social validation and social acceptance. So people who distorts it because they really don't understand what's the meaning of that in our day-to-day life. Like for example, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada never brings all these principles in the beginning. Srila Prabhupada always says, just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and experience Krishna's love. And as you feel comfortable, you keep progressing yourself, keep bringing your standard higher and higher, based upon your level of evolution. But spend some time, people who start following those principles at a higher level, and they want to create their own hierarchical standards. They want to show, oh, we are superior, you are inferior. To create that distinction, sometimes this kind of remark is being given. So it's not because Krishna or gods, it's about the people who handles all of those principles. I hope that clarifies. Maybe we can discuss more if you have more doubts on that.
Yeah, so moral of the story being like focus on your own thing as opposed to the whole hierarchy and procedures and protocols of mandir or gurdwara or wherever you go. Because sometimes it does feel almost like I mean historically I'll give my example. So I never used to go to ISKCON because my family goes towards like regular mandirs and gurdwaras. So the first time I went there, I almost felt like a misfit because I didn't know the procedures and protocols and what people are doing, and it almost makes you feel like maybe I'm not up to par. Like almost you have to step up your game, and religion or spirituality should not feel like
Yeah.
another task. It should feel just natural. Like, if a child goes to the mother will not say, hey, you should clean up and dress up. I mean, the mother will accept the child just the way he is, whether, he's filled with poop or he's smelling nice. So that's my only thing when it comes to organized religion. The whole bells and whistles that go with it sometimes seems a little too overwhelming and almost like what's the point of it. But I mean, I
Yeah.
also get that there's parts of like rules and regulations, like basic respect, which is
Yeah.
fine, but I think too much of the whole stuff gets a little overwhelming. But thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I mean, you're right. The whole lot of stuff when you're not ready for it, you've been. It's like you have a capacity to eat only one chapati, and somebody is forcing you to eat 10 chapatis. What would happen? You would indigestion. You will vomit, or you will just have a diarrhea. Eat as much as you can digest for a process. So follow principles as much as you can follow based upon your level of understanding, and which is coming naturally to you at your point of stage. Otherwise, too much stretching yourself will break. And people who are not matured enough in the understanding of Krishna consciousness, understanding of Srila Prabhupada's teaching, understanding of Krishna's message in the Bhagavad Gita, it all become misinterpretations, misrepresentations. And people who are genuinely wants to serve, they become sidelined. They people genuinely wants to feel Krishna's presence, love Krishna, and be in Krishna's service. They feel completely kind of not encouraged and inspired. So thank you very much for sharing this. And anybody else would like to share any things or any questions at this point of time? So I would just request if somebody would like to share one point which struck with them, which they would like to contemplate, which they would like to reflect, which they would like to kind of take home. Just one point which, if you would like to maybe put on chat section or just share however you would like. So anyone would like to share? So what we'll do is we'll chant one round of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and keeping this idea in the mind that to be able to receive Krishna's love, Krishna's kindness, Krishna's compassion, the very fact Krishna is allowing all of us to chant his name in any situation, by anyone else, in any circumstances, without any condition. And that is the most important way in all the scriptures, in all the religion, to connect to God. And Krishna has not put any condition on that. Can you imagine? Chanting Krishna's name, chanting God's name is the highest of spiritual beneficiary activity. And Krishna has not put any condition on that. Isn't it like the magnanimity of the Lord, the most compassion and most love He's showing toward all of us? So, with this, keeping this idea in the mind, we'll chant one out of Hare Krishna mantra, and let us see, let us keep our heart open. It's open to a certain degree after this discussion. Let us keep our heart open and allow ourselves to feel Krishna's care, Krishna's compassion, Krishna's acceptance, and know that Krishna's love is always there. Just by being in this frame of mind will help us, our heart, to prepare to receive it and to open us and to break that wall between us and Krishna. So we'll do the one out of chanting of Hare Krishna Mantra. I'll just stop the recording here and then we'll stop.